Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is BTS, that's Behind the Scenes, a show where we showcase for all our viewers the latest edition of the Business Today magazine, and this time around it is our 33rd annual special. I already have the copy in my hands and this is something that you don't want to miss. On this video, we're going to be sharing some key insights from this special issue. Joining in with me on this special edition are Krishna Gopalan. He's the executive editor of Business Today magazine, as well as we have Surabhi now with us joining in, who covers the economy aspect as well. This is a special one because this issue covers the BT top 500 most valued companies in India. We take an in-depth tour as to which are the biggest companies, how are they faring, and what lies ahead for all of them. Let's straight away dive into the cover story, and that is the BT500 top companies. Krishna, this time around again it is Reliance Industries which has taken the top spot. Help us understand what continues to be in favor for Reliance Industries to maintain that top spot, and what do we see going forward from here? It's a turnover of 10 lakh crore rupees, so it's huge, it's massive. We do know it's a big conglomerate and it's only growing bigger in size, with massive expansions being taken in along with the traditional businesses, even to the newer realms as well.
Hi Sakshi, thank you for having me. Nice to be here. Just a couple of points I would want to highlight as far as RL is concerned. All of us are aware of the ability to scale up businesses, think big. I think the fact that they continue to grow on a large base is something that's not commonly understood by most people. And if you understand Reliance's business model very closely, it's a combination of businesses that are considered traditional. We are speaking of exploration, refining, moving O2C, which is oil to chemicals, but just how they made the cut as far as retail or telecom is concerned. I'm just going to drop a few numbers here for clarity. Out of the 10 lakh crores, close to 6 lakh crores comes from oil to chemicals, which is a very large number. But we must understand that from a slightly different perspective. Over 3 lakh crores comes from retail, and it's a business they've really been at, or let's say really pursuing with a serious amount of perseverance over the last perhaps 10 to 12 years. So I think to that extent, the progress of retail needs to be understood very closely. Telecom is at about 1,75,000 crores. Again, they came in as a disruptor in 2016 and they took over the business. The common thread across all these businesses, which perhaps remains unnoticed to viewers and most people tracking the stock for a matter, is just the importance they've attached to tech as a concept. So when we spoke to officials within the company, when we spoke to market trackers, the view was pretty clear and almost devoid of any sense of ambiguity. They want us to look at Reliance as a technology company. So could be the levels of predictability, or in terms of how they use AI when they're getting to refining or exploration for a matter, or how they understand consumer behavior when you're looking to buy a pair of trousers at a Reliance outlet, or just how they go about the convergence business. So I think AI as a factor, AI as a crucial component of strategic difference is what is driving Reliance apart completely in this particular pursuit.
That's wonderful to hear over there that the company is actually stepping on the pedal when it comes to AI, new technology, and not just reforming the newer businesses which are more tech based, but even the traditional businesses that you point out, the oil and gas, the refining businesses as well, which could be very important to see as to how do they scale from here on as well. The other important factor that Krishna you mentioned in this is the topmost conglomerate, the biggest conglomerate by market value, and that is the Tata group. This time around in this group with a market cap of 30 lakh crore rupees, about 16 companies that are listed in the stock markets, ranging from software to maybe even salt and FMCG. We're talking about power, renewable energy space, retail, you name it. The group has a lot going in each and every sector, and it's contributing greatly even to the wider economy at large as well. Help us understand a little bit more about how Tata Group has managed to do this turnaround, because it was really reeling under a lot of pressure with some of the parts really not moving for the company around a few years back. What has suddenly changed for the group, and how are we going to see this going forward?
Yes, absolutely. I think the best way to describe the Tatas as a conglomerate is to call it eclectic. We obviously have the very large companies as a part of this list. There is TCS, there is Tata Steel, there is Tata Motors. you have Tata Power and all of it. I think, as you rightly mentioned, the turnaround story is very clear in the case of two companies in particular. One is Tata Steel in terms of how they pivoted post the buyout of Chorus and the difficulties they went through in terms of now getting to more India-focused strategy. Or just look at Tata Motors till a couple of years ago was not such a large player as far as passenger vehicles are concerned, but getting onto the EV bandwagon has been a huge turnaround story for them. That is as far as the turnaround part of it is concerned. You look at what a company like Tata Consumer has done. They actually moved the salt business from Tata Chemicals that came into the Tata Consumer fold, and today it's become a robust FMCG company with tea, there's food to eat. So you look at the entire, and as all of us know, B2C is what drives valuation on the bourses today. Taking off from there, again on the B2C piece, Trent has benefited tremendously. The interesting part is, if I'm just going to move away from the very obvious Tata companies, there's a presence of Tata Elxsi, again not very surprising, but we also have companies like Tata Teleservices Maharashtra, and there's also a company like Voltas. So the point I'm trying to make is, end of the day, you have the low-profile Tata companies doing work very quietly and being rewarded amply. To my mind, it's a clear indication of a strategy having been played out over time, a business plan which has been executed to perfection, and just understanding that the whole story is not about India but thinking global. And I think regardless of size or scale or turnover, every Tata company now seems to be working with that credo where India is a critical market, but the world outside is equally, if not more, attractive.
Absolutely. And you interestingly point out about Trent. I just want to make a mention for all our viewers who have been used to of tracking this stock very, very closely in our Market Today shows. And I'll share one anecdote also, Krishna, with you. When we were just talking about learnings from this year so far, when we were doing our Diwali special shows, the one question that I put forward to some of the fund managers out there was if there is any regret that you have, in this year. And most of them, they pointed out not having believed Trent as a turnaround story and as a remarkable story, and not putting in huge money in Trent because it's turned out to be such a big multi-bagger. And you did talk about how it's not just appealing to one sector, but it's transforming the way people go out there and shop in the tier 2, tier 3 cities as well, where the group is focusing at large. And it's not just mass, it's not something which is like a Vishal Mega Mart which is going to be now listed soon. It's actually premiumizing that space as well. So of course it is looking forward to that space. And one story, just to give one highlight also for all our viewers who've been tracking the stock on a year-to-date basis, despite the recent consolidation and the correction that came in the markets, Trent is still up 130%. On a year-to-date basis, that is. If we look at the long-term story in the last 5 years, well, it's 1260% of gains that investors have seen in Trent. So there are such remarkable stories that have actually come in from Tata Group. I'm glad, Krishna, that you brought all of this out as aspects that you've discussed in this special edition right there. And I would truly urge all our viewers to please go out there. In case you are shareholders of such important companies in your portfolios, it is important to understand what is the management's perspective, how are they really going to scale up going forward from here. This will also give you an idea as to should you be probably building up your positions in some companies like that, how should you be positioning that along with your discussions in your fund manager, your own financial experts. Apart from the BT500, there is lot more. The time is short. We can't just discuss so many stocks that have probably made an entries. Something like what I was looking at also, Krishna. Bharti Airtel has jumped 4 notches in terms of the market cap that it has come in terms of the top 10 most valued companies. So there is a lot more for all our viewers to really look there and talk about and see and seek all the insights which are given in this inside. Alright, and now we're going to be jumping into the next important story that you should definitely look to track in this newest edition, and that's about the banking industry, which has been fraught with a lot of uncertainties of late. There is the issue about unsecured lending. There is the kind of faltering CASA deposits at a lot of banks as well. Let's understand from Surabhi, who's been looking at what the current situation is of the Indian banking sector at large, and how are some of the top banks really faring in this situation and what can we expect going forward. Surabhi, tell us how are you really looking at the current scenario, the issues that are pressurizing and reeling the entire banking industry? And going forward, do you see any improvements?
Thank you, Sakshi. So yes, as is often said a lot of times, the health of the banks also reflect the health of the economy. And in this case, what has come as a pleasant surprise even to analysts and to consumers as well is that the three top large banks, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank and ICICI and SBI, they have all retained their spots on the BT500 list, and they've all done very well with nearly 20% growth in profits in the October 2023 to October 2024 period, which was the period of this study. And when we look at them, issues around unsecured lending, rising NPLs, things like that have not really been an issue for these three banks. And even if you look at the second quarter results, they've done largely well, and analysts have said that they're likely to continue doing well. Overall, the banking sector is also doing well. As you know, that after the big bank cleanup which happened a couple of years ago, banks are doing well, their balance sheets are healthy and everything seems to be good. But the credit deposit challenge and the CD ratio continues to be a problem for the sector, and of course there are concerns around liquidity and things. But moving forward, it's expected that 2025 will be a better year for banks overall.
All right then. Well, thank you so much, Surabhi, for getting us all that insight into the banking industry at large. And with that, viewers, I hope that you've got enough and more sneak peek into what this massive issue can actually help you understand in terms of insights from the broader economy, the banking sector, as well as the top 500 most valued companies, which have a huge round of varieties, from those companies that are standing tall in that top 10 ranking list, those which are the newer entrants, those which are notching up their places as well, and some of the IPO insights that have also come in. This is one issue that you must definitely grab for yourself to get all those insights from the markets and the economy at large. We'll continue to get you such fascinating insights on the other editions of BTS as well. So stay tuned. We'll be coming back with another edition pretty shortly after this.